Now, briefly, 5G use cases, standards and network security, insights from PTS Sweden, the Director General of Swedish Post and Telecom Authority, which is PTS, Dan Sjöblom. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting me to come here and address you. Ladies and gentlemen, I will, of course, being a regulator, give you somewhat of a regulator's perspective to these topics. I will talk a little bit about use cases from my perspective. I will talk about the importance of standards, and I will talk a little bit about critical aspects of network security. I have been in this position for 8 years now, and it's interesting to note, maybe as a starting point, that when I came into this position 8 years ago, we were talking a lot about what is 5G, what are the use cases, and we are still talking about that largely today. So that's at least a constant in life. I mean, much development is going on. It's very interesting, but I think we are maybe still perhaps only at the beginning of the possibilities. The potential applications of 5G, I don't need to tell you. I mean, you are all probably more experts in this field than I will ever be. But they span a lot of sectors. We heard about telemedicine right now. Smart manufacturing is something that we talk about a lot in Sweden. We have a lot of manufacturing companies as a sort of base for the industry side, and monitoring equipment, automation equipment, all have a potential of increasing the efficiency and reducing cost. In healthcare, as we just heard from Germany, 5G has the promise of enabling telemedicine solutions, remote consultations, as we heard. We even have heard ideas about robotic surgeries on distance, patients, care and accessibility for patients in various conditions. The automotive industry is, of course, an interesting one, where we are looking forward to the next steps in connected vehicles, improving safety. Hopefully, connected cars will make fewer mistakes than we as drivers make. Real-time data exchange and ultimately fully autonomous driving. Smart cities is another very interesting area, of course, where we have intelligent traffic management, environmental monitoring, contributing to more sustainable urban living necessary as we move forward to hopefully a world that manages to stay within the boundaries of what we humans can suffer from in terms of increased global warming and other effects. There is a lot of promise here, and it's useful to talk about this. Of course, this leads us back to the fact that this is fantastic technology, but as we heard the question in the previous discussion there, the commercialization, I believe, when I talk to the telecom companies in Sweden, is still a topic of great discussion and concern. I think there are many of the verticals that have ideas of using 5G technology to increase their efficiency, but who is going to pay for the service if the users are not willing to pay for better management of your electricity meter, for example, and the electricity company is not willing to pay for it, and maybe the MNOs are not so interested in providing that service. So I think we still haven't found the models, and that's remaining work to be done, and hopefully we will move forward because it has, as I said, so many promises. Now, on the topic of standards, The role of standards in 5G and of course moving forward into 6G cannot be overstated. This standardization is of course essential for creating scale and ensuring interoperability among devices and networks as more and more things get connected. If we have not common standards across our communication platforms and solutions, we are creating more and more difficulties. So this is enormously important that we can continue to hold this together between stakeholders, industry players, governmental bodies, and of course, very much the international organizations. I was very recently in India for the WTSA meeting on standards, and a very big issue being discussed there was forward-looking standards in AI, and I was here in this room half an hour ago listening to the very interesting discussion about quantum and post-quantum, which I didn't even know that we were already discussing. Of course, these items, with the speed that everything moves now, and you look at how the international standardization bodies typically work, this is going to create a very important and difficult challenge, I think, in terms of continuously having common standards globally. And also the way that the world looks today with geopolitical challenges that we see increasing, the challenges of keeping common standards is not going to be an easy one, and I think we all need to understand that this is an area where we need to continuously invest, and maybe invest more than we have done, at least as countries that I know well, and maybe as Europe, we need to maybe looking forward be prepared to invest even more in standards. And that, I think, comes to my last point as well, which is network security, which is also linked, of course, to geopolitical developments. The need for maintaining and maybe increasing security standards with more and more things becoming digitally connected, and with our societies ever becoming more dependent on digital solutions, and 5G maybe in particular over the coming years and decades. This security challenge is not going to go away. It's going to become more important. So what are we doing there? I think we do a lot of things. Key security strategies are being provided by 5G and other solutions, end-to-end encryption. But we also need to invest in regular security audits, maintaining strict compliance with the international security standards. The role of public-private partnerships is going to continue to be crucial, and maybe more so in the future. Everyone in the value chain needs to have sufficient cybersecurity, because the weakest link is always going to be the weakest links. We are having a very important and continuing discussion on trusted vendors. That's going to continue to be very important to all of us. And I think in conclusion, I think that 5G has the promise to revolutionize many things, but we need to be very cautious about these challenges, and we need to invest in it together and alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sjöblom. Very quick question before you go. Do you think that this feeling of being cautious is maybe making some businesses reluctant on even working on 5G and maybe waiting for 6G, and then we'll see?
Well, it depends why you're cautious. I mean, if you're cautious because you're not sure that going this way is going to bring you robust and secure solutions, then that might be a good thing to do. But if you're being cautious for other reasons, I think we need. There is a saying, of course, that digitalization will never in the future move as slowly as it does today, and I think that very much holds true. So we need to be adapting to the pace, because the world is going to continue whether we follow it or not.
So let's go on with what we are developing now and doing it more rapidly and being ready at any given time. Just jump on the next step.
Given all of that, but also thinking about the security and bringing everyone along in society. So we will have a lot of things to do.
Thank you. Thank you very much.